But the uneasiness about the other girls never completely went away. I tried to talk to them, but they were quiet and didn't say much. They seemed scared and always looked over their shoulders. I didn't understand, but I thought maybe they were just shy. I wanted to believe Auntie Bimpe's promises. I wanted to trust that she had brought me here for a better life. So I pushed away the uncomfortable feelings and focused on my new life in the big city. I hoped that soon everything would make sense and I would find the happiness I was looking for. Auntie Bimpe treated me well at first. She called me her little sister, and I felt special. She gave me nice clothes and good food. I thought, maybe this is the start of a better life. But soon, the promises she made began to fade away. Instead of going to school, I was kept at home doing chores every day. I cooked, cleaned, and took care of the house. I woke up early and worked until late. I scrubbed floors, washed dishes, and did laundry. I felt like a maid, not a little sister. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The life Auntie Bimpe promised seemed so far away. I watched other children in the neighborhood go to school with their backpacks and books. I felt sad and lost. Why am I not going to school? I wondered. I gathered the courage to ask Auntie Bimpe about the school and opportunities she had promised. One evening, after finishing my chores, I found her in the living room. Auntie Bimpe, I said softly, you promised to send me to school. When will I start? She looked at me with a kind smile and said, Tabitha, don't worry. You are still young. The time will come. Just be patient. Her words gave me a small glimmer of hope. I wanted to believe her, so I held on to that hope, even as I continued to work from morning till night. Every day, I cleaned, cooked, and took care of the house. I did my best to stay positive, thinking, maybe tomorrow will be the day Auntie Bimpe sends me to school. But as more days passed, my hope began to fade. The other girls never went to school, and I started to wonder if I ever would. I watched them leave the house at night, dressed in fancy clothes, looking sad and tired. I didn't understand where they went or why they were so unhappy. I began to feel a deep sadness inside me. I missed my family, my village, and the simple joys of my old life. The city, which once seemed so full of promise, now felt like a place of broken dreams. One day, as I was scrubbing the kitchen floor, I thought about my mother and father. They always wanted the best for me. They wanted me to have an education and a bright future. What would they think if they saw me now? I wondered. I felt tears welling up in my eyes, but I quickly wiped them away. I didn't want Auntie Bimpe to see me crying. I needed to stay strong, even though I felt so weak inside. Deep down, I started to wonder if things would ever get better. Will I ever go to school? Will I ever have the opportunities Auntie Bimpe promised? The questions echoed in my mind, but I had no answers. I tried to stay hopeful, but it was hard. The promises that once seemed so real now felt like distant dreams. I felt lost and alone, trapped in a life that was nothing like the one I had hoped for. As I continued my chores, I whispered to myself, maybe one day things will change. Maybe one day I will find the happiness I once knew. But deep down, I was starting to lose faith. The life I had hoped for seemed so far away, and I didn't know if I would ever reach it. When I turned 15, Auntie Bimpe called me into her room. She smiled and said, Tabitha, it's time for me to fulfill one of my promises to you. I have an opportunity for you that will help you make money. I was so excited. I thought, this is finally my chance. Maybe she's going to send me to school or give me a special job. My heart was full of hope and happiness. The next day, Auntie Bimpe told me to pack my things. We are going somewhere special, she said. I packed quickly, my mind racing with dreams of what my future might hold. I imagined myself in a school uniform, learning new things, making new friends, and building a bright future. We got into Auntie Bimpe's car and drove through the city. I looked out the window, watching the buildings and people pass by. My excitement grew with each passing moment. Finally, we stopped in front of a large, beautiful house. Auntie Bimpe took my hand and led me inside. A rich man named Chief Anikulapo greeted us. He smiled at me, but there was something in his eyes that made me feel uneasy. Auntie Bimpe talked with him for a while, and then she turned to me. Tabitha, she said, you will be staying here. Chief Anikulapo needs someone to help with the housework. This is a great opportunity for you to make money and have a better life. I felt a sinking feeling in my stomach. This was not what I had been promised. I thought I was going to school, not becoming a maid. I looked at Auntie Bimpe with tears in my eyes. But Auntie, you said I would go to school, I whispered. Auntie Bimpe's smile faded and her voice became stern. This is the best I can offer you right now. You should be grateful for this opportunity, she said. Then she turned and left, leaving me alone in the big house. I felt betrayed and heartbroken. This was not what I had hoped for, not what I had dreamed of. I was not going to school. I was not going to have the opportunities Auntie Bimpe had promised. I was just a maid, working for a rich man in a house that didn't feel like home. The days that followed were hard. I worked from morning till night, cleaning, cooking, and taking care of the house. Chief Anikulapo and his wife were demanding and sometimes unkind. I felt like a prisoner, trapped in a life I didn't want. Every night, I cried myself to sleep, thinking about my family, my village, and the promises that had been broken. I felt so alone and so far from the happiness I once knew. My dreams of a better life seemed like distant memories, and I didn't know if I would ever find a way out. In Chief Anikulapo's house, I worked every day from morning till night. I ran errands, cleaned every corner, cooked meals, and did everything that was asked of me. My hands were always busy, and my heart felt heavy with sadness.